Okay, let's adjust it, fix the camera. We're good to go. We're good to go, guys. All right, it's actually good now. All right, we're live. We're live. Hello. Just waiting for the audience to build up, and then we get started. Good evening. Good evening to you. Good evening to you joining us right now. Welcome. Good evening to you all. Please do share. Share, please. Just share. Good evening. Welcome and share. Let's get started. It looks really crisp, right? So Dr. Ibacho started off his speech by paying gratitude to the soldiers of our revolution, by paying homage and appreciation and sending a note of thank you to the courageous men and women, those brave Ambazonians that have taken on that patriotic responsibility to defend homeland, to defend our communities, and confront a lot of public terrorists. So he started off with that, and he talked about the brave men and women that defended Kembong and caused a severe, or get a lot of public to Cameroon to pay the severe price for the occupation, in both in Kembong and in Batibo. He also talked about our leaders, our brothers and sisters, our comrades that are in jail, that have been kidnapped, abducted, and have been taken to the jails and the concentration camps and the bunkers of La République du Cameroon. He warned the people of Ambazonia that it is in record that the Biya regime, that the Ambazonian people are keeping a score of the atrocities that Paul Biya and his gangster government, his military, that the atrocities they are committing in Ambazonia, the Ambazonian people are keeping record and are taking note of that. And that the Ambazonian people would hold the Biya regime in some way, somehow, accountable for their crimes against the people of Ambazonia and their crimes against humanity. Dr. Cho talked about the strategic importance, the strategic geographical location of Ambazonia, where we are situated, and while there is geopolitical pressure on the Ambazonian people by La République du Cameroun and its conspired slaves masters. He talked about it's because of our immense wealth and resources, and that's why the slave masters and La République du Cameroun have such an interest in keeping the Ambazonian people occupied and enslaving the Ambazonian people, and therefore exploiting their resources without their participation, without their consent, and thereby leaving them in perpetual circles of poverty. Dr. Cho said one of the most important points in his speech, and that is in reference to reassuring the international community, the international partners, the people that have interest to invest in Ambazonia. He reassured them that Ambazonia will not become like Southern Sudan, that upon gaining full recognition, that Ambazonia will not descend into chaos, where we start to fight each other, where there are factions, where we turn within ourselves and start to fight for the resources and control and power. He reassured the international communities and the international investors, the people that are interested to invest in the development of Ambazonia, that they should not worry about that, because Ambazonia, we are a very unique people. We have a purpose to build a nation rooted in the rule of law. A nation, and he talked about that, the kind of nation we want to build is a nation based on parliamentary democracy, where the parliament will be the seat of power, and that will have a prime minister, and that prime minister will be guided, will be monitored, will be controlled, will be sanctioned by the parliament. Basically, the prime minister will be a figurehead. Our parliament will be the seat of power. So you won't have what's happening in La République du Cameroon, where one individual or a person or a position is the authority. It said that will not happen in Amazonia. Power will be divided. Power will be spread out in all branches of government, and all of them will be controlled by the parliament. That was very important. Dr. Cho also talked about the fact that the way the Amazonian people are conducting this revolution, the way we are conducting this revolution, we are doing that in accordance to international laws, in accordance to human rights standards, that the Amazonian people, in spite of the fact that La République is causing so much atrocities on our people, we will not behave like them. We will not behead people. That as we self-defend ourselves, we will do that in accordance to the strict international standards, the rule of law, and the respect for human rights. Even to people that if they are captured or arrested, they will be treated in accordance to international rights. Dr. Cho also reassured, hello, Shueno. Dr. Cho also reassured the neighboring nations, especially Nigeria, our big brother. He reassured them that they should not be intimidated, be afraid that Amazonia, Southern Cameroon, is going to become a dependent nation. He led them to understand that there is so much potential for all the neighboring countries, especially with Southern Cameroon being so a strategic location. We will become the hub of business. And then he reassured that the Amazonian people do not have a problem with Nigerians. In fact, the Nigerians are our brothers and our sisters. We share common culture, right? We share common culture. We intermarry with them. We have a lot of things in common with the people of Nigeria. What he said the Amazonian people have a problem with, it's with the Buhari government. So the people of Nigeria are our brothers and our sisters, and that they could count on Amazonian, and Amazonia will become their home. Whoever wants to do business, whoever wants to live in Amazonia will be safe, will become a home for them, as it's been a home for about 6 million Nigerians that are living in Amazonia. So he wanted to reassure the Nigerian people and the Nigerian government that Southern Cameroon or Amazonia will never become a dependent nation. Instead, will become a nation of trade. And since international companies will have great interest to do trade in Amazonia, that it will be a space of capitalism, open competition, but based on the rule of law. Okay? Dr. Cho also talked about the need for cooperation and unity. I think this is one of the most important things he talked about, that it is vital. The interim government, he didn't call the word interim government, I'm just using the word. He said it is vital for the interim government, the leading frontline organization of our revolution, to make it possible for all other organizations to unite, to collaborate, so that they could bring their strength together to move our revolution forward quicker and faster, so that we all can get to Boya. But that the competition for power is the problem here. To try to exclude some organizations from participating in the power structure of our revolution. And he said that is not fair, that is not cool, and that is keeping us stuck. We are not moving forward because of that. So I want to reiterate what I have always said, that I believe it's time the acting interim president reach out to these frontline organizations for unity. I believe, and I'm sure you also do believe, that it is the responsibility of the acting interim president, no matter how many times he has tried, to try as much as he can to reach out, for his government to reach out and bring in the other frontline organizations together, because they will be so strong. And in that unity, with that strength, where they combine resources, they can collaborate, they can strategize, they can re-energize, they can create a synergy, we can have a faster momentum to take us to Boya. This revolution is slowing down because of this division, don't you think? The revolution is slowing down because of this division. So by that unity, where each group bring its best into the proposal, into the blueprint, into the action, into the strategy, into the movement, we can make such a headway. And this is what we want. The people of Ambazonia do not want our revolution to stall. We instead want our revolution to move forward faster, quicker, better, with so much more results. So that's one of the things that Dr. Ayabacho really strongly emphasized in his speech. Now, why is unity important? Why do you think the frontline organizations should unite and collaborate to take us to Boya? What's your opinion? What's your opinion on this? Do you just support the interim government and you hate every other organization? Or you just support every other organization and you hate the interim government? If you are on this side and not on this side, are you seeing how you divided? If you're on this side and not on this side, are you see how you divided? So imagine some of our people are on this side and some of our people are on that side. Are you see how we divided? Dr. Cho calls for our people to unite forces for collaboration. That all organizations have a part to play in this. The revolution is not an interim government revolution. This revolution is not an Ayabacho's revolution. This revolution is not a Dr. Kwanga's revolution. This revolution is the people's revolution. So that's why unity is key. The faster we unite, the better. Because Paul Biya is pulling a lot of strings on our people. The same mistake that was made, which led to the arrest of members of Sisiku and members of his cabinet in Nigeria, is the exact same mistake we are still making today, and that's what led to the arrest in Calabar, the capital of Cross River State in Nigeria, just a few days ago, of 8 people. Same mistake. We have not learned. And that's why La République keep using intelligence and other forces through bribe to get our people. Our people are not supposed to be arrested like this and be thrown in jail. We are not learning what it takes. We have to do these things with smartness. We have to be smart in the way we do these things. So that's why unity is key. Because with unity, they can share information and prevent a lot of these things from happening. We can't get to Boya if we are not united. We cannot get to Boya if we are not united. So it's time you start to write the active interim president to tell him it's his responsibility to bring unity. He's the president of the interim government. So that's his responsibility to cause for unity. All right, let's move on. I hope that's clear. Write what your opinion is. What's your take on this? What's your opinion on this subject? What's your opinion on unity? Is unity a necessity to this revolution? Is unity a necessity for the successful outcome of our revolution? Do you believe in unity? Is unity strength? Is unity power? If we unite, are we going to get to Boya faster through collaboration, through shared intelligence, shared resources, strategic planning, or not? What are your thoughts? Write your comments, write your opinion. I would like to read them. Okay? Now let's move to the next point. Let me have a sip of water, please. The next point is about Paul Biya appointing Atanga Paul as the new Minister of Territorial Administration in La République du Cameroon. Let me emphasize that. Atanga, it's a minister, the new Minister of Territorial Administration in La République du Cameroon, not in Southern Cameroons. Southern Cameroons, or Ambazonia, is an occupied nation right now. So they've hired Atanga or appointed Atanga in order for Atanga Paul to prepare the northwest province and the southwest province for their fraudulent occupied elections. So here is what you need to be thinking. Why Atanga? Here's the reason. Atanga believes in fraud, in crookedness. Remember, from day one, he's always said there is no Anglophone problem. So now leading Minister of Territorial, as a Minister of Territorial Administration, what is he going to do? Here is what you need to know. I'm talking to you now from a leadership perspective. I'm talking to you now from an analytical perspective. I want to talk to you from an empirical perspective, not just hearsay. This is a thought leader perspective, okay? Atanga is appointed. Here is what Atanga is going to implement. There will be a lot of spies in Amazonia. They are going to recruit a lot of people that are going to be watching you. They are going to be watching your moves. They are going to be watching your actions. They're going to be watching who you surround yourself with, where you go. That's the first thing they're going to start doing. So you will see a lot of what we call intelligence gathering. Right? Fritz Takan talked about this very extensively. And I really suggest you watch his video. What you need to know is Atanga Paul is given so much power to kill ghost town. That's the first thing they want to do. The first thing they want to do is to kill ghost towns. Hear me out. Hello, Mami Afata. Welcome. The first thing Atanga Paul will do is to kill ghost towns. And here is how he's going to do this. Atanga Paul will impose very heavy fines to all the people that will violate the ghost towns on Monday. To all the people that do not open their stores on Mondays. For any ghost town, when the interim government call for ghost town, anyone who follows the order and keep their store closed, stay home, will get a fine, could be arrested. That's the first method they are going to implement. So what you're going to see Atanga Paul will do is to actually institute very strict policies of dictatorialship. Very strict. So people will get fined. They'll put the fine so high that someone will not be able to pay the first time. And if that happens the second time, they'll close your shop or take your license away. That's the first scheme or tactic Atanga Paul will institute. And this is why I want to have the conversation with you, with you guys. My purpose here as a leadership strategist, as a communication strategist, as a thought leader, is to give you the deeper insight as to why what is happening, it's happening. And the reasons behind them. What are the forces behind those things? Understand this and get yourself ready. Because the next few weeks leading to the senatorial elections are going to be very tough. The next 20 days leading to the Senate elections are going to be very tough. Because this is a very decisive movement. This is a very decisive moment for the Amazonian people. This is a moment that is either going to win this revolution or kill this revolution. This is the moment. This is a test for the Amazonian people. This is a test for us all. Are we going to defeat them finally and prove ourselves as a free people? Or are we going to cower down? Or are we going to back out? Or are we going to be so intimidated and we give up our freedom? We give up our rights to be a free people. We give up our rights to have a prosperous nation. We give up our rights to build a society where you will have such a bright future, where you can fulfill your God's given purpose and destiny. Are we going to give up on that and become volunteered slaves? Because if we do not stand up now and reclaim and stake our claim on the ground, then we have volunteered to become volunteered slaves. So this is a defining moment for the people of Amazonia. This is that moment in which we are being tested. Our faith, our commitment, our tenacity, our resolve, our determination is being put to test. Are we going to let a dictator, someone who doesn't care about you, your children, your people, your family, to take control of our destiny? Or it's time for us to unite and therefore take charge, not only of our nation, but to build a state where you can live freely. You can have freedom of assembly, freedom of association, where your children can have dreams and can go to the best schools, the best universities, and they can have such a bright future because of equal opportunity, equal prosperity. That's what Bia Haya Tanganji. To kill the dreams, the aspiration of the people of Amazonia. So my brothers and sisters, we have to rise up. We have to rise up and give up our comfort for instant gratification and stand up for our freedom. We must invest in our freedom. Number two thing, the second thing Atanga Paul is going to do, every church is going to be censored. You will see a lot of license, the permit they give churches, a lot of them will be revoked. Atanga Paul is going to attack the church. Is going to start a war with the churches. Because they believe those places of worship are places where our people go there and gather in order to talk about how to move the revolution forward. So that's why I'm here to educate you, to let you know that there are forces, plans are on the way right now, in order, because they have one goal in mind. And that is, their goal is to give an impression that Southern Cameroons, both the Northwest and the Southwest, are so stable, and that's why elections must take place. So what do you need to do? There are two things you need to do if you're in ground zero. Number one, do not vote. Do not vote. Don't vote. Number two, should they come to your house, it doesn't matter who, whoever comes to your house and asks you for anything about the revolution, tell them you don't know anything. You don't know anything about the revolution. Whatever you say about this revolution, you end up in jail. It's coming. That's why they appointed Atanga. You have to keep your family safe. You have to protect your family. Whatever they ask you, I don't know anything. I don't know anything. I don't understand anything about what's going on. That's all. Play dumb so you're safe. Number three, protect each other. In your community, we have to be each other's keeper. If your neighbor not get chopped, you get small chop. Call your neighbor and they pick in the medicam. Join when I'm on a chop together. The next few days, the next few weeks are going to be very tough. If your neighbor not get water, if you get well, Tell them they can't carry water for your well. If your neighbor begin to sick, if you get the means, give them small money to go buy medicine. We'll get for help each other along the way until we get to Boya. If you notice some big mammy there for your quarter, they don't kill the pig, they take care of it. Or some big papa there for quarter, they don't kill the pig, they take care of it. As an Ambazonian, your moral responsibility, go visit that big mommy, go visit that papa, go visit that auntie for quarter, go visit that sister, go visit that brother. A part of the work is for this revolution. And then if you be a foot soldier, your goal is to defend your quarter. Dr. Cho talks, they say, any quarter must defend itself. Every village must defend itself. Every town must defend itself. Our people them for Limbe, Victoria. Victoria is falling behind. Our people them for Boya. Your cities are falling behind. Wake up. Wake up, Victoria. Wake up, Boya. Bring the revolution into Boya. Rise up, Limbe. What boys them for Limbe? When I rise up. Limbe they sleep. When I woke up, Limbe, we'll get a responsibility. We'll get both a moral responsibility and a patriotic responsibility for this revolution. So what will be your own role? What will be my own role? Speak out. If you did outside Ambazonia, the more of we speak out, the better it is for this revolution. Inspire people then. Educate people then. Tell our story. Why we want the restoration of our independence. Why would we fight for recognition? Now your job days. Not be one person a job days. Not be na Ikome Sako a job alone. Now not be Milton Taka a work alone. Not be a Yabacho a work alone. Not be Mark Barretta a work alone. Not be Capo Daniel a work alone. Not be Kuku Blink a work alone. Now what collective responsibility, my people then. So now high time this. If you did for outside Ambazonia, please start speaking out. Because if you reach people, then me are not feel rich. If you reach people, then we Kuku Blink not feel rich. If you reach people, then we Mark Barretta not feel rich. If you reach people, then we Tapang Ivo not feel rich them. If you reach people, then we Capo Daniel not feel rich them. If you reach people, then we the interim government not feel rich them. If you reach people, then we Ayabacho not feel rich them. For place where you did, now you be the leader of this revolution. Now you be the voice. Now you be the voice. Now you be the voice of this revolution for place where you did. Now a collective effort, and that's why unity is key. So the more of we would day out, would speak out, would stand out for defend our people them. Would they don't be? I just posted a picture yesterday, right, of this small picking them. Between the ages of 2 years old, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, which is this begin to deserve and for become refugees? Which is that begin to deserve and for become refugees? Which is the deserve and for become refugees? But some one thing you need to know. When I watch how that begin to sing Ambazonian anthem, I know saying that the first generation days of Ambazonia would they be born with that Ambazonian value. It be built in them. If they ask all that picking them, where are you from? Even though the day for refugee come from Nigeria, they ask them, where are you from? All of them talk say Ambazonia. Second question they ask them, who is your president? They talk say my president. My president is Siseko. All of them. The future is bright, my people. The future is bright. If that small picking the way they did for refugee camps, they feel believe so much that the Ambazonians. What about you? Now, which how much you believe in yourself so you be an Ambazonian. You think it's in a play, that proclamation of restoration of independence, you think it's in a play? Not be play. It's not real. The only reason we carry that identity card and that La Republique passport, that because the first time for yourself, not be who you be that. It's a matter of time. We go burn those documents. Like I don't burn my own passport. Because I don't need them. Like I don't burn my La Republique passport. I don't need them. I don't disconnect myself from anything La Republique du Cameroon. I don't need them. I don't feel wait for getting my amber passport. I don't feel wait for getting my amber blue passport. I look forward to it. So believe, no say, from October 1st, 2017, you be an Ambazonian. You belong to that nation called Ambazonia. So that time, you just carry that ID card and that passport now because it be forced upon you. Right now, you just use that like a traveling document. Okay? Now, those documents are documents of slavery and occupation. Now you carry and so with you. It's a matter of time. So that's why we fight, what would we fight for, so that we'll be free. It makes sense? I hope this is making so much sense for you. I hope this makes a lot of sense for you too. I hope so you think this way. Because as we think, as the writer for the big book, right? As you think, so shall your life be. So, must stop here for now. If you got any comment, you got any question, I'd like to take your question, I'd like to take your comment, and then we'll proceed. We'll get about 5 more minutes. Have any question or any comment for me, guys? By the way, I appreciate you guys for staying up late and just so that we can have this conversation, because it's very important, right? You have a comment or you have a question for me? I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for your questions. I'm waiting for your comments. So now, what to be expected of you? What to be expected of us? What to be expected of you and all of us? What to be expected? A few things to be expected. We must honor those ghost towns. If all Ambazonian them for Northern Zone and Southern Zone, every Monday they close their shops. They fee go from store to store, close all that store them. It's impossible. Now only if a few people they open their shops, or more, some people they open their shops, and so the one they don't open them before they go feed do them anything. But if all we as a determined collective people, every Monday we close our shops from every village, every town, every city, then not get anything for do. Because you know if you hold all mango lock them, right? Now the spirit this we need for get them, for move this revolution forward. 1, unity in purpose. 2, unity in commitment. We got to be so committed, so dedicated. Every person got to pay a small price. The price that contribution for obey ghost towns. With all the threats, you must obey ghost towns. Because now the only small price I will pay them for free. See me and you, if you only pay that small price, obey ghost town. Imagine what Sese could go through. Imagine what Mancho BBC will go through. Imagine what Penn Terrence they go through. If not all that if you do, then you've contributed to the revolution. If you then you've contributed to our freedom. Secondly, your contribution. The moment the $2 million the $2 million my trip to Boyas launch, I want to ask you, I want to beg you, like a friend, like a brother, like a patriot, even if you not get, find the small way you get out for make that contribution. It'll be very important. If we achieve that goal of having $2 million, if we achieve that goal of having $2 million very easily for invest and for self-defense. If every person just make a little contribution. I want to just honor an Amazonian with America. We say he sent 1 million la Republic money, CFA France, make they take care of all the people that locked them for Boya Central Prison. He sent 1 million francs. Make they take care of all those people then. And then number 2, just a few days ago, he sent another 500,000. May they take care of all the one that we did for Kondengi. I want to send our thoughts and our gratitude to this wonderful Amazonia. That's the spirit of Amazonia. So as the interim government don't launch this $2 million my trip to Boya campaign, I want to call you, I want to ask you, tell all your family members, even if you're for ground zero, where you go there where if you make that contribution. And a patriotic responsibility. So I want to close this live talk for remind you. You know if you fulfill your God-given purpose, you know if you live the life where God born you for living, if you not be free. You're picking the enough you become all they want to become without freedom. There is nothing you can do, be, or have if there's no freedom. So it's with freedom that all things are possible. With freedom, that's when all things are possible. Freedom and God are synonymous. So understand that. If you not be free, you not feel fulfill your God-given purpose, you not feel live the dream you desire. No matter how hard you work, if you did for a crooked system like for Cameroon, you not feel become anything. Except you become crooked and join the crooked system. And then you compromise who you are. Then after some time they take you, put them for jail. Or they kill you. So for be all who you can be, all that God has created you to be, the first criteria, you must be free. You must live in a free society. A human being is not completely human without freedom. I want you to quote me on that. Quote me on that. Lucas Asu. A human being is not completely human without freedom. So we are not completely human until we are free. It's only when we are free, then we've actualized our humanness. Then we have actualized the fullness of humanity and God. That's the only time. That's when you can experience all and be all that you can be. And that's why the freedom of Amazonia is instrumentally the most important thing. Fight for it. Fight for it. Give your all for it. Give all that you have for it. Invest in it. My last order, I want to leave my phone now. So I hope somehow this message don't touch you, it don't affect you, you don't learn something from it, you don't learn something from this interaction. I hope so it don't inspire you enough. I hope so. Because what will be life when you not be free? When you go for bed for night, you not be free. When you begin to sleep for night, you not be free. What will be life? We'll fight for our freedom. We'll invest for our freedom. And we'll go achieve it. We'll go win. We'll become free. You deserve it. I deserve it. We're picking to deserve it. Our families that deserve it. Our great-grandpicking will deserve it. Make we leave a legacy, a purpose. Make the next generation know, say, we'll become here and we did something extraordinary collectively. Have a good night. So now, I'll spend about 5 minutes to take your questions. JZ Light, good evening. What is the IG doing concerning bringing all groups together? We need unity to reach Boya. JZ Light, I absolutely agree. In my opinion, that is one of the most important things the new acting interim president should focus on doing. From what I have learned so far, there is some talks going on. They have not materialized yet. There is a document that is being worked, some form of arrangements, of collaboration, of unity. So when we have that information, or when the interim president, once they reach that decision, that conclusion, but I know they're working on a unity type of document. So once that is finalized, and I think it should not take them time, then they should tell us and we should see some progress in that. For right now, you keep putting the pressure on them to create that unity. Thank you, JZ Light. IG joining the moving train. All groups should come together and join the IG. Together we stand. Well, share Z. Not necessarily join IG, but look, you can collaborate. Right? The ARC, the AGC, the ACYL, the Morris, and all of those other groups, Republic of Amazonia, all of them, they can unite and do collaboration and do a partnership on purpose, right? But if the one resolve all their other things and then bring everybody into the interim government, they can also do that. But it's not necessary for them to do that. For us, all they need is unity and collaboration so that they can share intelligence, they can strategize resources, and then build synergy. We can get to Boya faster. If both the SOCADEF, AGC, AGC, and collaborate, even on self-defense. Imagine what we can do. They bring in the expertise, the experience, because they've been doing this for a long time, right? So they have incredible experience and expertise in which, even the interim government can humble itself and learn one or two things from them on how to do this effectively. So by sharing experiences, resources, and strategies, and even intelligence, wow, we can accomplish a lot faster. That's what we're calling for. Any other question? Thank you. Any other question, guys? All right. I just want to thank you again for tuning in, for joining me on this live broadcast. It's right now 12 midnight in Amazonia and it's 6 p.m. in Toronto. I want to wish you all good night. If you're in ground zero, wherever, if you're in Europe, good night. And send me a comment, send me a message, and please invite your friends to like our page. I will be bringing you more updates on these things. Okay? Have a good night, guys.